United States. And I'm very confused by that because I know a whole set of my friends don't have jobs in IT anymore. And we're all worried about that. I'm sorry that I have a part 3. I'm a grandmother of five grandchildren. I want to advise them on what jobs they should be thinking about and what kind of training and college educations they should get so that they can't be outsourced. It's a big problem.
Thank you. Let me just say that there are jobs that are being outsourced, and we just saw an uptick in unemployment numbers, as you well know. But I think part of that is the education issue, that we don't have as many people who are as qualified for some of the jobs that are open today. There are many parts of America where, as you know, Silicon Valley and others, where they continue to look for workers. A lot of Americans don't know that 50,000 Americans today make their living off eBay. That's because of new technology. I think it gets back to two things. One is education, and the other is training. And there are a number of jobs, but some of those jobs are not in the right place. Why do people have to move to Arizona, where there's a job opening, as opposed to staying here in New Hampshire? And that gets back to going to the community colleges and saying, you devise the education and training program for the local job needs. And I think that those people you know who have had their job outsourced, if they had the right education and training, there are still job openings. Now, as I say, in the northern part of this state, it's tough. It's really tough. You've been there, I've been there. In Berlin, we're talking about a state prison being the way to provide employment for many of some of its citizens. We have got to get the kind of educated and trained workforce so that the companies and corporations will move there. We talk a lot about, and I am in great sympathy for the problems of the Big Three in Detroit. Do you know that automobile manufacturing facilities have opened in Alabama, in Mississippi, in South Carolina, and these other states where they are providing thousands and thousands of jobs? So we've got to make sure that we get the educated and trained workforce and care for the displaced worker. And I want to assure you that that is uppermost in my mind, particularly as we go through these very difficult times. But I have to look you in the eye and give you some straight talk. If it's a low-paying job, like in textiles, that job isn't going to stay in America. It may not go to China, but it's probably going to go someplace else. That's why there has to be so much emphasis on education and training, and we do whatever we can to get these young people the kind of education that would fill those jobs and create more jobs. Ireland now is the envy of Europe. You remember 20, 30 years ago that Ireland was the basket case of Europe. I asked the Irish Prime Minister, I said, how did you do this? How did you have this turnaround in your economy? He said two things. He said, we cut taxes. He said, and second of all, we reformed education. In Ireland today, a young person can go just as far as their talents will carry them. We've got to make sure that that can happen in the United States of America. And I look, this is a tough time we're going to go through. But I still believe the fundamentals of our economy are strong. And I'd be glad to have more of a dialogue with you because this is a big problem, particularly in the northern part of the state of New Hampshire. Thank you for your care and concern. Yes.